Go.
Today is December the 16th, 2021, and we're interviewing Mr. Harl Newton today at the Kansas State School for the Blind. So we want to begin now. Mr. Newton, what is your full name?
You just called it Harl Newton.
Okay. What is your date of birth?
September 21st,
What year?
1932.
Okay. Where were you born?
In
And
Kansas.
name of the hospital and the location of the hospital.
No hospital, born at home.
Born at home.
Down on Halleck and Richmond,
Okay.
Kansas City, Kansas.
All right. What were your parents' names?
Arthur Newton, that was my father, and Maddie Newton, my mother.
Okay. Do you have sisters and brothers?
Yes.
And if so, what are their names and in sequence of their ages?
I'll start from the top of them that I know. Mary was the oldest, and then Arthur Jr., Lois, then myself, then Homer Franklin, then Lacoma, Shirley, Tim, then Richard.
All right. All right. Okay. Give us some of the memories of your life before starting school. Before you started school, just some memories of your life.
Oh boy, yes. We had a good life. I have no complaints about my childhood. Of course, like our parents back in that day, they were stern and everything. But and then my father, he worked for the WPA. That's the first thing I know about employment. But we've always had a roof over our head and always had food to eat.
All right.
I've seen a hungry day in my life. Never. We wasn't, what you call rich enough, but we were happy coming up. Because we always had food, clothes, and everything. And we all went to school.
Okay.
It was right. And then, till after the years got better when it came into the 40s. Right before the war started, that's when my father got hired by the Santa Fe Railroad. And a whole bunch of black people got hired for the Santa Fe. And all the railroads, really, not just the Santa Fe. To get back off. I mean, most people, it was either the railroad or the packing house back there. Oh, yeah, it was, but for the jobs that I know of then. Okay.
All right. What elementary school did you attend? And give us the name of some of your teachers.
Let's see. I started off in the kindergarten at Clifford, and I remember my teacher, Miss Box. That was her name. Yeah. B-O-X. And then from there from Clifford on to Grant. Because we moved out of the neighborhood. We moved down on Fourth and Freeman, and so I went to Grant. Then Grant, then Stowe,
Okay.
then Northeast.
Well, that's the elementary schools.
Elementary. Yeah.
Okay. What were some of your teachers at Grant? Do you remember the name of it? Or Grant and Stowe? Or the principal?
Oh Lord, Mr. Bassett was the principal down there in Stowe. And Miss Miller was my teacher, Miss Miller. And I can't even remember the teacher's name. at Stowe School.
Well, was it Sephora Miller? Was that the one you talked? Was that Miss Miller? Was that Sephora? Was that her name?
I don't know what her first name was, but she lived up the street from my grandmother down on Harl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she was a stern lady. And when I say stern, you know.
Did she have to use the board on you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, she did. She actually wasn't no board she used. She used a strap, a little strap, and bruised my leg up real bad, and that got her in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, after elementary school, what other schools did you attend? After you left elementary school, junior high, and high school, what school did you attend?
After elementary school, Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were some of the names of some of the teachers and the principal?
Oh boy, Mr. Glass was my homeroom teacher. Miss McClellan, Bass, Bertram Carruthers, what? Miss Matthews. I forgot what her first name was. And Mr. and Mrs. Glasgow. Yeah, that was, because a lot of people don't even, couldn't get it to say because they were married, but yeah, but I remember them real well. And Mr. Wright and I think Mr. Wright was first grade, but
Who was your gym teacher?
Harl Wright.
All right.
Hey, wait a minute, and before Mr. Wright was Mr. I think that's what his name was.
Wade.
Yeah, Mr. Wade, Kirsten Wade. Yes.
Okay.
I call Miss McClellan. His name McClellan. That was my. I used to throw up paper.
Well, give us an impression of Miss McClellan. Many people remember her.
Well, you know what? They talked about her so bad, but it was something that I was her paper boy, and so I got along great with her. I love Miss McClellan. That's the reason. But people used to talk, because actually they did that because she was so big. And you know how kids are. Oh boy, so you put thumbtacks on her seat, they'll charge everything. But she was something special. Her and she used to ride with Mr. Fears, the typing teacher.
Okay.
Because she rode in this car she rode because they lived there. Well, they lived right across from where you at right now. On 12th and Washington.
Well, your class, y'all the one who hung Mr. Spears out the window that y'all do that at Northeast?
Well, that lie been going on for years. Nobody hung Mr. Spears out no one. Hey, every class come out, yeah, we hung him out the window. Good grief. No, if it ever happened, I don't know nothing about it, but the story goes on, every year they change it.
That's why I asked that.
Oh, and several of them. Some as another teacher, I can't think of what they did so much to them. Hey, they haven't did nothing to nobody, but the story goes on and on.
Okay. Was Miss Hannah? Did you go to her?
Yeah, I didn't go to Miss Hannah, but she was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Did you go on to Sumner?
I went to Sumner 1 year.
Okay. Well, who was the principal of Northeast?
Collins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any action with him?
Yep. I was his paper boy too. Because he lived on the north end.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the only, one time when he had to expel me because I broke a window in school.
He had you expelled?
Yeah, he expelled me for breaking that window. But it didn't last but a day.
Why'd you break the window?
Because I was throwing a brick at somebody.
Oh, okay.
And
All right. When you got to Sumner, who was the principal at Sumner?
Mr. Hodge.
Okay. You remember any of your teachers?
Oh, boy. can't hardly remember none of them. But,
Okay. Uh,
I was trying to think of my own blue T-shirt.
well, give us some comments about your school life, like your friends, when you talk about some of the teachers, and some incidents. You talked about the one throwing the brick through the window. But anything else that may have occurred in your school life that you'd like to talk about? Any incidents, or maybe they're not even involving you, maybe involving somebody else.
No, it's nothing bothered me, when I was going to school, but it's just, I think I was a pretty fair student. I'll say fair, not no, good. And then, a lot of people that that I started kindergarten, but I think about one or two of them are still living now.
Okay.
Yeah, called Sylvia Boykins, and then somebody I was thinking about last week that we started school together.
Okay. Who would you say was your best friend? Or maybe through elementary school, junior high school, and the one you were something. Who would you say was your best friend?
My best friend or friends?
Friends, yeah, friends.
Winston Black.
Winston Black, okay.
Charles Pennington.
Charles.
But that we all started. Yeah, he was in my class, and well, that would be that was different because they lived in Quindera at that time, so we didn't start going to school yet until we got to Northeast.
Okay.
But that was him and Gerald Harl and Kirkwood,
Well, was there any good-looking young women you were attracted to? The young girls, one of them that you tried to, you looked at pretty carefully. So, would you like to give that name?
I'm gonna tell you, I never had no girlfriend in school. I worked all the time. I always had a job. I started working when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
But no girl.
Okay.
No girl involved in my school. And not because I didn't like girls, but I always worked.
What? Do you remember anyone that you looked at and say she was a pretty girl? She was pretty. Carol won't mind.
No, I know that, but it was several nice looking girls out. Back in that day, you'd find people with color stroke, especially for yellow people, and so they all ran together too, the yellow ones and the dark ones and everything. But one girl, it was two girls that were very dark. Roosevelt Williams' sister,
Okay.
and Charmaine King. They were real dark, but they were nice looking and they were smart. But you know what? Smartness makes up for those looks that people did. Yeah.
Okay.
And but as far as the real light color girls, they all ran together, and I can't give them no credit for nothing but just being light. That's how they had their own thing. And just like people, they used to talk about people, black stick to black, yellow, brown. But that's the way it was.
Okay. All right.
And
Any other comments you'd like to make about school? About any kind of comment about your school life? Any other comments you'd like to make? Questions we didn't ask, may not have asked.
for the years that I went, they were good.
Okay.
And I guess I was what you call a fair student.
Well, would you like to comment about the quality of the teachers?
All the teachers that I had, as far as I was concerned, they were great. They were great coming from Oh, oh, but Mr. Thatcher, oh, he was special.
Mr. Who?
Thatcher, Jim Thatcher. His me and his son used to play together at the funeral home, and I was going up there to play with him one day, and my mother told me that he died that night. We were actually we were just coming out of about the first grade, because we were in the first grade at Grant. And me and him used to go up there to the funeral home, and that's where we played at on Saturday. They had great big old packet hearse used to sit on the side of the funeral home. And then my mother, well, he had died that night. Something, I don't know what it was from or nothing. And then Mr. Jim was quite, the whole, most of the Thatcher family really.
Okay.
So we lived down the street from the funeral home on Freeman.
Okay.
And that was, that neighborhood, and right across the street from there, they had a big filling station, and that belonged to Boston Daniels. The filling station, it burned down. But anyway, but this Jim was, he was quite a guy. And when I could tell a story about him when I got my first leave in black when I came home, and then I went to the Union Station the day that I was supposed to be leaving, going to California, and several of my friends, we had Kansas City was the joint, the spot where all trains came into Kansas City.
Right.
Well, I had about 15 to 20 of them that morning when I went over early to get my stuff ready to go. And so I brought them all over in Kansas over the summer. And Jim Thatcher was one. He got us a bus and got Mr. The school bus driver, Rucker. Rucker took us, we had to ride in the bus and go everywhere. We ate lunch up there at Sumner.
Oh.
Everything, but yeah, that was quite a thing. I mean, Jim said, and then took them out. I said, well, I said it wasn't time for me to go, but he took them back to the Union State, Mr. Rucker did. After he took them a tour of Kansas City.
Wow. Wow.
And one of my friends, I had to put this to Robert Favors. He said, man, where can you buy some weed? We were going down through Fairfax Inn. I said, go over there, to your left. I said, there's a whole field of it. He took the bag, and when they got on the train, they had 2 or 3 bags. I mean, loaded down. He said, and I said, no. I said, we played it all the time. We never did use it. I ain't never smoked no marijuana. He said, that's weed. Yes, that's what you want, man. Help yourself. Because they're going to burn it up. They just burn it every year. Oh, boy. Okay.
Well,
Them guy, but Jim Thatcher, I never used to get Mr. Thatcher.
okay. Well, what was the community where you lived or around you? What was it like? What was the community like when you were growing up? That is, the families, the neighborhood, the businesses, the places for entertainment for young people and old people. And who were some of well, you talk about your closest friends, but some of the adults who you looked up to and admired. But first, what was the neighborhood or community like when you were growing up?
This is, I'll be more associated with 3rd Street and 5th Street and 7th Street. And we were brought up in a community where, there's white, black, everything. It was all there. The grocery stores. Our parents didn't have to worry about no food or nothing. They had to build the grocery store, go down on 5th Street, get the fish market. We had everything, junkyard, coal yard, lumber yard, everything on 5th Street. All of that, everything was down there. And And then they had the joints, the beer joint, like the when the beer get off of work, they go down the beer joint, have the beer. So, and it was quite something. Then I have to go. You said, we had I remember when they closed the swimming pool up on 3rd Street. They had the swimming pool right there, it was on Springfield between Edgerton and Stewart. And a lot of people, try to talk about it now, but they don't remember. I said, because they closed it up when I was a kid. And but this whole community, I'll just include all of it. Day 11, everything. And
What you do for entertainment? I mean, what did you do as a youngster up probably to age 14 or 15? What did you do for entertainment?
we had played ball and basketball. I was on the basketball because the churches and things had basketball teams, and Walnut Boulevard was mine. And it was we said baseball up in Waterway Park. We got a baseball team, basketball, but you played football. In the full team. You just did that on your own. But not unless you go on the football team at school or something. But basketball and baseball, they had a team. Some was, they sponsored them. People were sponsoring. Except Mr. Wallace, he had a all-nation interracial Rockets. He had 3 blacks, 3 whites, and 3 Mexicans. He lived on 3rd and Parallel.
What was his name again?
Mr. John Wallace. Yeah. So, and let me see. You might remember. Did you go? You go to school with Hershey, didn't you? Herschel Wallace. And yes, you did. He was in Hershey and oh, okay. I get that. Thank you. In fact, like now you can entertainment, you're gonna make me go into another Charlie Parker. And I personally knew him
Okay.
too because he used to come up on Northeast.
Okay.
On his way over Missoula, had to do with his little saxophone and everything. And him and Richard Mills. I know you heard of Richard. You know Richard Mills. Everybody knew Richard Mills. And boy, he was. My mother just loved him because he was a cab driver then. Oh boy, he had a meat cleaver he carried around with him. And he would use the meat cleaver. Yes, sir. They just love Richard Mills. But with him and Charlie Parker and everything, they'd come across the Northeast and then they'd be headed to Missoula. Yeah, where they would go. But
did you have a movie? Did you go to the movies?
Huh?
Movie?
the movies,
Yeah,
Princess
Princess.
and the Regal on 10th Street.
How did you go every week, or how often did you go to those 2 movies?
Well, I was quite fortunate. I used to work at the Princess Theater when I was a kid. I was fortunate. Like I said, I've always had a job. And I worked at the Municipal Auditorium. I got to go to all the dances out to see all the musicians and things. But we go to the shows. And that was our entertainment. But it was.
I'm trying. What was the guy's name that was down at the theater, and the lady who took the tickets at the Prince? You remember that name?
Brock.
Brock. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brock and then his brother Smokey. They were barges. They were barges.
Okay.
I can't think of his name right now. Archie. Pete. They call him Pete Barge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Archie. Well, that's part of his family too.
Okay.
So that was Brock's son.
Okay. All right.
No, he wasn't Brock's son. He was Pete's son.
Okay. Who were some of these? Were there any adults in the neighborhood who you looked up to and kind of admired? Were there any in the neighborhood?
in our neighborhood up on the corner, Mr. McCain, Les McCain.
Les McCain.
Yeah, he take care of the kids. He was quite a guy. Because he turned the water in the summertime, had no water, because wasn't no swimming pools no more. So he turned the water on, running on the streets, and he was quite something.
I've heard he was quite a politician. I understand.
Cool.
This, McCain.
Yeah, he was. He was he had pull.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it like that. Because if you wanted a job with the fire department or the police department, you see Les McCain.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or either Fred White.
Yeah. Who was Frenchie? Had he started his business? Was he started when you was coming along?
Who?
Frenchie.
Oh, now they go back. Shoot, boy, they go back a long way because they lived right next door to where Mount Zion Church is right now. The house sitting on this, they stayed on one side and the. I call the name, Carol, what was it called? The preacher, the big fat preacher, you call it, and they used to tease him for being fat all the time. Went to Water Boulevard. Had his little grandson. He used to bring his little grandson to church, and he Askew.
Oh.
The Askew stayed on one side of that church, and the Frenchies stayed on the other side of the church.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Down on Richmond, it was Richmond then. And
Were there any horse-drawn wagons back during that time? Did they delivering stuff? Did they have any wagons, or did they all have motorized vehicles?
The Manor Man and the Manor people, and then people they used to stay out on the north end. Several of them, they had horse and buggies, and they would haul stuff. Then they had one time they had people bringing vegetables and things around. But the Manor Man had the horses.
All right.
Delivering the bread, you bring your bread and stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
And so.
Did you attend church? And if so, what was the name of the church and who was the pastor?
Water Boulevard, Reverend Smith.
Reverend Smith.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we went to King Solomon too. But when I joined church, I joined Water Boulevard because it wasn't for the religious thing. It was where all your friends went. They used to hold during school. You remember they used to have church school when it's school. That's where they had it at Water Boulevard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, on Wednesdays.
Well, did you participate in an activity? Do you remember in the Christmas plays or Easter plays? Do you remember doing any of that?
I never did.
Never did.
I never did participate in no plays. That was my brothers,
Okay.
So, and my sister, they did. I never did because I worked.
Okay.
I always had a job.
You just went to play with the girls.
Yeah, those girls. I had time tapping those girls.
Well, what church do you now attend, and how are you involved in the church, and who is the pastor?
Strangers Rest Baptist Church. Reverend Jimmy L. Banks, pastor. I'm on the trustee board.
What else do you do there? I mean, you're trustee board. You kind of do a lot of things there.
Yeah, I'm a custodian. And several things, really good.
Okay.
And
All right.
wait.
When did you enter the military?
Let me see.
You can talk.
Yeah. What about the men's chorus?
Oh, yeah,
you
singing the men's
participate?
chorus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just go
Are
sing.
you a Sunday school teacher? Or
Yeah, Sunday school teacher.
adult class? You've been there for many years. You
Yes, and Sunday school teacher, and I've been, off and on, but but like as a custodian, I trade off, not trade, but whenever I was needed, I did, and then
You sing the men's chorus, don't
yes,
you? You have a good voice?
I don't know, I can't say that. I don't know. I know we got
an excellent bass voice.
Okay. Your wife said you have an excellent bass voice.
she hear it. I can't hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I never call myself a singer.
Okay. When did you enter the military, and at what age did you join the military? And tell us a little bit about how you wound up in the military.
I mean, how?
If you don't mind, if you don't mind, this is everything is strictly voluntary.
Well, I was, like I said, from my paper, and I had a couple of friends, and we got into a little trouble, and so he got picked up and everything. I didn't. And one thing about it, when you tell a lie, stick to it. Don't back off of it. And that's what I did. I told a lie uptown and everything. And then I got with my sister and said I got to go because they're going to jail. I'm not going to jail. So I put my age up. Me and Lois put my age up, and then I had to get some papers notarized. And in order for me to do that, I had to get my father to do it. So what me and my sister did was got Carol's uncle to go buy some wine and stuff. We put it back up where he kept his drinks. He thought it was his. And they was having a party on Saturday afternoon with him and his men. They work well on the weekend. They'd be getting together drinking. And I told Dad, I need you to get these papers notarized. So I got a job that I need. I'm getting a new job. We went down there to Mr. Swanson down on 3rd Street. Got him. So I got the paper signed, notarized. I took him up there to the recruiting office. I was gone.
Okay. What branch did you go into?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah. It was the Air Force. Then,
What year was that?
1948.
1948.
Yep. August the 10th, 1948.
Okay. And how old were you?
15.
15. Wow. Okay.
And
Where did you do your basic training?
Lackland.
Lackland, and
Lackland.
where's Lackland?
Huh?
Where is Lackland?
San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. Okay, after you finished your basic, what was your first assignment?
After that, this is what, being that the military was segregated then. So what they did, we signed up to go to school, but they had no, Air Force had no school open for blacks over here in the United States. We had to go to Japan to go to school. So what they had to do, they attached us to the Army to go to school. So they had to send us all to Japan.
What part of Japan did you go?
We stopped, and they didn't station the schools in Japan. It was in Maizuru where school at Japan. But our home base was on Okinawa, and they attached us to the Army. See, we were attached to the Army.
Wow.
And and I went to heavy equipment school in Maizuru, Japan. Several because they attached us to the Army, to the engineers.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
how was your experience in Japan? Did you like it, or
Yeah.
at that age?
It was, you know, 'cause all I did was learn how to do my job, be a heavy equipment operator and everything. It wasn't no fun because I didn't drink or smoke, nothing like that. I didn't do nothing of that. I was so strictly, I was strictly for the military, you know. That's when my discipline was taking hold of me then, because I seen where we had to go, and then I learned about the president had passed that bill to break the, you know, to segregate, you know, to break the segregation up and everything. But they sent us back. My home base is on Okinawa, and the High Air Force Base, attached to, you know, that Air Force base down there at Naha. But we were still in the Army because the engineers were, you know, in the Army. We were attached to the 24th Infantry. And then when they had, and when they were getting ready to make the change, that's when we were on our way home. I'd done my tour. And we were in Yokohama, Japan. I was General Nelson M. Walker getting ready to come home. And the Navy come over there to the loudspeaker, now hear this, now hear this. The North Koreans have crossed the 38th parallel. And our troops, you know, they were going to give us our instructions. That's what we're supposed to do. That's when, that was in June of 1950. So the next day they started trying, you know, gave us our orders and everything, and all the people and the engineer, but the 931st engineers, you will get off of this troop transport and get on the battleship Wisconsin. The Wisconsin was taking us into Korea, and that was that. And by July the 1st or 2nd, we were there
In Korea.
in Busan. Yeah, we were there. Such a thing, you know, it's quite a thing to see when you wake up and look at a ship sitting next to you. That was the battleship Missouri. I didn't know nothing could be that big. Looked like a big floating city. But that was that and that.
What y'all do when you got to Korea? What was your experience in Korea?
In Korea?
When you got to Korea? You were the 24th Infantry?
Yeah, but we were the engineers. We were the headline.
Well,
The engineers were
they were right in the middle of the battle.
Huh?
When it started, when North Korea came over, wasn't they?
Well, the 24th and 25th, they did their job. Because all we had to do was repair those roads and things going north. You see, because the 24th and 25th did their job well before they started putting the Marines and things in there at Incheon, at Chosin Reservoir and everything. And because they took quite a beating, the Marines did, because they were not trained. The Marines wasn't trained for that kind of, you know, they were trained for jungle fighting. Marines were at that time, but not like the regular stuff like the mountains and things. Marines were not trained for that, but they thought that they could do it. But anyway,
Did you see any action yourself?
huh?
Did you see any action yourself?
A little bit, just very little, very little, because we were steady working, you know, trying to move north. And when we did get there after, you know, this was it started I started in July, really. But by November, right around Thanksgiving, well, we had beaten North Korea. In North Korea was down. But General MacArthur said, we're going to go on into Manchuria and into China. See, he was just like General Patton, you know. And so President Truman fired him. And after he fired him, we were sitting there cold, 46 below zero. And looked, you know, we didn't see it. Well, she seen over the mountain, see them jets coming over the mountain. And this one dude up there, he said, he said, good grief. He said, oh, the Russian MiGs. That's sort of, and the Chinese flying them. Russia gave China all that stuff to work with. And the Chinese put a whipping on us. They did that. So that went on and on until they started the truce talks. And I made it home Christmas of '51.
What year was you discharged?
1952.
1952.
In August of '52. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. You know, you were 15 or maybe turned 16, and so that meant probably everybody else was, the men were older than you. How did you handle that?
It was good because it was 2 or 3 dudes, and I was the same age I was.
Okay.
Just like, and I knew several people from Kansas City too, like Clifton Height, Woody Height. Clifton Height, and then Woody, and Clifford Maddox. It was still stuff. Arthur Charleston. Just like when they said that Franklin Sharp was the first one to get killed. No, it was Arthur Charleston. It's on the flag out there at Wyandotte Lake. It was Arthur Charleston. Arthur Charleston we were on the same shift together, but he was in a different he was in one of them Army outfits, because I was a strictly Air Force person there, and he was in a reconnaissance outfit, and he was the first one that got killed. And then, but when I got home, they was talking about Franklin. No, it wasn't Franklin, because Franklin wasn't even there then. As a matter of fact, when Franklin came over there, so they got drafted, because they got drafted because they were going to school. They were still in school. And Franklin was out of that part. Franklin got killed, but Arthur Charleston was the first one from Kansas City.
Okay. What was it like when you re-entered civilian life after you got discharged? What was it like? Was that an adjustment for you? I know you hadn't been gone for probably more than 2 years, but was that a readjustment for you?
I was gone 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. No, because when I went to work, I was happy. The first girl I met was here. Since you talking about girlfriends, she was the first person I met.
All right.
At her grandmother's house. I ran with her uncles.
Well, you just point here, but call her name.
Carol? Yeah.
Carol.
I was standing there, and Ernest Benson and them was standing down there. Seen these 2 little girls walking down the street. And being her, she walked up, and I guess she won't know who I was, really. But she did. She found her. But Mom and Pop, no. That's why I like that song by Nat King Cole put it out. They're trying to tell us we're too young, but I like it better by Johnny Mathis. But anyway, that's one of my favorite songs. I was
Too young. They try to tell us too young to be in love. Okay.
But anyway,
what were you employed after you were discharged?
packing house.
Who?
I went to the packing house.
Which one?
Rodeo, Maranua, Rodeo.
Was that in the bottoms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was one of the big. Yeah, it was Rodeo was big.
Okay. Well, what else did you do if you got discharged? How long did it take for you to get married and get children? And if so, what were their names?
Let me see. Say that. Start with me.
What you do after being discharged?
I went to
Did
work.
you get married? How long did that take?
Then about I got out in 52. I think I got married in 54, I think.
Okay.
54.
Do you have any children?
Yeah.
And what were their names?
Oh, Yolanda, that's the two girls were Yolanda and Renee, Carmen Renee. And then two sons, Larry and Harl Jr.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, where did you live? And where did you live? And if you remember the addresses that you lived, where you lived?
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember no address, I don't think, because I lived on 3rd Street, right on 3rd and Quindera, right next door to so what's we call him? John. What's John's last name?
West John.
Hmm?
John Jarrett.
No, your classmate. John Burris. I lived next to, because they lived on the corner. John and lived on the corner. I lived next door there in what's we call it, on that house. Boy, I get these two names now. You what's his name? Used to do all that work and everything. He was one of your, his son was one of your classmates too. Rush.
Oh, one of the Rush family.
Yeah, Rush. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then on 3rd Street, I lived on right there on 3rd and Quindera. Then my move from there was to with Brentwood. I moved out of matter of fact, I worked for Robbins and Robbins.
Okay. You work. What did you do at Brentwood? Did you do any specific job at Brentwood?
Roofer.
Roofer.
Mm.
So you put roofing on a lot of those houses out there in
I
Brentwood.
put just most of them, yeah.
Okay.
And then I can't think his name. His last name was Wyatt. Wyatt, he lived on Missouri. He was the one taught me roofing. He taught it to me. I mean, he was good. So, but yeah, I worked for them for a long time.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
as a matter of fact, I worked for them and worked at the packing house at the same time. Cause I was on the night shift at the packing house. I didn't work for Robbins and Robbins. And actually, because when I got the house that I moved in out there, I didn't have to make no down payments or nothing because I worked it out.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you've already stated when you first saw Carol, but when did you decide that we need to hook up?
We just did it.
Now, I mean, about what year? And Carol, you could enter into
It
this
was the same
discussion
year.
too.
It was the same year. So you know what? But she was 15 and she was still going to school. She was 15. I just turned 19.
Okay.
Mm.
When after you got out of service?
Yeah,
Okay, so you met her and
that's the same day. I said it the first day I got home.
okay.
Because I was down at her grandmother's house.
Well, later, when did y'all decide to tie the knot? You want to talk about that?
Well, a lot of things, life changed. She went, when and you know, it would be just like I had the respect I had for her family. They didn't want us, so there wasn't no sense in and she knew it too. Yeah, but it turned out like it's supposed to.
All right.
What was supposed to be is supposed to be.
All right.
Mm-hmm. But
All right.
and wait a minute, I got to throw this in. When I did get married, and we had a reception, I think at her grandmother's house. You know what her mother told me? You married the wrong girl. Selma. Yes, she did. And she didn't whisper. She said just like this. Said, what you said, you want me to watch? You married the wrong girl. And then just turned around and walked away. I was wrong.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. What are some of your activities now, things that you do outside of church? What are some other things that you engaged in now?
nothing but church. Mostly, and what and just do my little thing, right? Stay out of trouble and try to stay well.
All right.
That's our main thing right now is trying to stay well.
And then he does a lot keeping up the house.
I know.
That's, he is replacing the porch, did the deck, built a deck on the house, just transformed the whole house, built a new kitchen and tore out the old kitchen, built the new kitchen. I mean, it's just, he's very visionary. I'll say, well, do you think this could be done? Or ask a
Could you
question.
turn?
I'll ask a question. Can this be done? And I'll give him a day or so, maybe not that long. And yeah, this can be done. And he said, let me draw out the plans. He's like an architect. He can draw the plans and show like how this can be built. We have gone when Payless was out there on state, and we wanted to build the kitchen. That was the first thing. And he sat there and designed that, and we went out there to Payless, and the man said, oh, you have your own, he drew those plans, he drew them himself. And that's why I said he really missed his calling, because he's a visionary. He can see how things should be done, how you can build them. And he'll say, you see how that can be? I'm like, no, I don't see that. I don't have that. That's a God-given, that's a gift.
Yeah.
That he can do that.
He's an engineer.
He's an engineer. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ms. Newton. And we said, please enter in to the conversation. Oftentimes, I guess since I've known Harl, one of the wisest men that I know I've met. That's why I always said it was important to interview him. Because there's some things that he's one of those persons that can see the end of something while we're trying to figure out how we're going to get there.
The vision.
He already sees the end. And that jumps out at me. Oh, give me the address of your all's home now, since all the work he's done now. What's the address of your house?
1236 Everett.
1236 Everett.
1236.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. What actual year did y'all get married?
What?
What actually was the year y'all got married?
95 and 96.
1996, December the 6th.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I said 96. I was there somewhere.
Okay. What does the community that you grew up in, not only where you live now, but where you grew up, probably when you had some of your, when that was your community, what does it look like now compared to then? In your own words, what does it look like now?
Where I used to,
Oh, yeah, from time you were born up until now, what does it look like?
Looked like a vast wasteland. What it looked like now, where I used to live, from coming from 3rd Street all the way over to 7th Street to 7th. Oh, like I'd go as far as 10th Street, really. We had a beautiful community when I was coming up. It was good. From 3rd Street, well, I know I go all the way back to Water Street, all the way that, and from Minnesota, all the way back to the north end.
Hmm.
And it's hard for me to for somebody to be talking to me like this and say, well, you know, if white folks this, white folks that, so what. And it bothers me because I was raised up around.
Mm-hmm.
We had all the stores on Fifth Street. Like I said, you go to the store, your parents write you a note, go down to the store and pick this up. And that's all you gotta do, go down there and they put it on that little bill, send it back home, you know, but I had a beautiful, you know, it was beautiful to me
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't no, you can't go in this neighborhood, you can't go, because we had our own community
Okay.
down here. I mean, and
What do you think? Person who still live in this area, are we better off now? Overall, taking everything in consideration,
mm-hmm.
are we better off now than we were when you were growing up?
Well, we better off now.
Are we better off now?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's, we didn't have all this stuff, you know, stuff that's going on. We didn't have all that. Because people don't take care of each other like they do. And we did. The neighbors, you know, and everything, and oh my God. It was just, it seemed like you're in two different worlds, really.
Okay. One of the questions, what message would you like to leave to your children and grandchildren that could help them to have a happy and successful life? What message would you like to leave to them?
Don't quit. Let them quit. Don't you quit.
Don't quit.
And I always remember what I told you, what I think I told you to. 2 days in the year don't mean nothing.
2 days a year don't mean nothing.
2 days in a year don't mean nothing. And they are yesterday and tomorrow. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow not promised to you. It's just as simple as that. You live for the day. Trust God.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the main message you'd like to leave to them.
Yeah.
Just as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, you don't and don't waste time. Don't waste your time. You ain't got but so much. Don't waste it. The good Lord didn't give you no time to waste. You're supposed to use it. I mean, don't and don't look for perfection because you won't make it.
Okay.
But do the best you can. Just don't give up. I mean, just go on, take it one day at a time.
All right. Mr. Newton, anything that you'd like to talk about? Just anything else you'd like to talk about? Any question that we didn't ask? Anything you'd like to talk about? Then we're going to turn it over to Miss Newton.
Yeah, just that's my favorite. You know, the only thing I want to think about. If I can help somebody, I want to do it. Just help somebody. I don't like to see people down. I don't, cause and then the way things are going, people are so self-centered. I don't. They deserve it, but you don't know what they deserve. Don't say that. I mean, if I see you down, and why should I make fun of it? Because it can't happen to me. Yeah, don't do that. And it's people so, so hard-hearted. But like I said, I mean, I know how hard my father works and everything, but I still ain't never seen a hungry day in my life. I didn't see none coming up. And he worked, and like I said, I'm not. It's there. It's out there for you. Just go on and get it. You know, try do your best.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best because you know you see so much. We're the same so much. All of us have in this room. Mm-hmm. And like you know, just like I said, but that's me. You know, me talk. Okay, I can't speak for nobody else. And then we have, you know, like our children and grandchildren and everything. Just we love them and we miss them. We don't, you know, do the best we can for them. Hate to lose them.